between Sundays.
Between Palm Sunday and Easter Sunday.
Yeah, this is actually a significant...
The beginning of Holy Week.
Mm-hmm.
Holy Week.
Oh, yeah.
Very important week.
What's the question we're going to start with this morning? Joel Moses, do you have one?
This or that?
Oh, is that always a this or that?
No, but we did one once with Megan.
Oh, okay.
We could do one with you.
Whatever, yeah.
So would you rather be in a horrible earthquake or a tornado?
Earthquake. I feel like an earthquake, there is remedy. Like, you can escape it conceptually. I mean, I guess the big bad earthquake, if you're here on the coast, you wouldn't want to go to the water because then you also might be fearful of a tsunami. Yeah. So maybe that's a bad answer. I feel like in my mind, like it's like if there's a bad earthquake, go to a large parking lot. Like where there's not like a bunch of buildings falling. You know what I mean?
But you don't want to be on the bottom floor of a large parking lot.
Oh, no. I'm talking about just like a traditional, like our lot. Just go to the middle and just stay.
Yes, middle of our parking lot.
A tornado, it's like, oh, no.
You could fly away.
I just watched the documentary on Netflix on the tornado that went through a little town in Missouri when I was in college. It was like a Category 5. I mean, it just literally wiped out an entire town. And that was like terrifying. There was nowhere you could even go. Like even storm shelters were like getting their tops ripped off and stuff. So
we were in a tornado once in Wichita Falls, Texas.
Yeah, I've been
when
there.
I was like 7 or so. Granny Moses lived there, my grandma. And they had a lot of tornadoes. The sirens went off.
That's tornado alley, right? Yeah.
And she was like, don't worry until the other siren goes off.
Yeah.
And then the other siren
The warning and then the watch or whatever.
So I got in the bathtub with the dog, a Bible, and a mattress. I was a little boy.
Yeah.
My mom got in the bathtub. My dad went out on the front porch with Granny Moses.
Just to watch it.
And I guess tornadoes hop.
Oh.
So it like bounced over the house.
I'm sure there's a certain
It tore
type
up the
of
school
tornado.
next door.
Wow.
And it tore up the houses on the other side, but it bounced over us.
When I was in college, we were in college in Kansas, which is, there's tornadoes all over the place. And I'd never seen like the clouds, the sky get green before, but that's like a big sign of certain kinds of tornadoes. So anyways, we all had to run down every building had a storm shelter, tornado shelter. So we all ran down and my ears popped and then all of a sudden my nose just started gushing blood.
Whoa.
Yeah, because the pressure.
Oh, wow.
And supposedly it's like a thing for certain people. They just have a sensitivity for pressure drops. Wow. So I just, which is kind of a terrifying thing to like be afraid, like being from Colorado where you don't really see too many tornadoes to like a tornado is happening to you're bloody.
Wow.
Not good.
This or that. So acoustic worship in a circle or giant concert with worship? Like stadium?
The college me would have loved the small circle, intimate. Like, 'cause I was super into Mighty Pursuit. Do you remember them? No? Oh, man. So they wrote, like, Set a Fire Down in My Soul that I can't contain, I can't control.
Yes, I do remember,
Let It Rain. They were, like, the OG. They basically did what, like, Maverick City did. That, like, everybody's in an enclosed environment in a little house. So they had this thing called I think it was called like the Nashville House. They bought a home and they just did like worship nights and produced a bunch of albums and a lot of, So anyways, I'm a sucker for.
But now you'd rather have stadium?
I just really like good sound.
Yeah, better sound.
I enjoy a full sound. Yeah.
Yes, very good.
And I also like being a little lost in a room now. Like, being in a small, intimate environment, it almost reminds me of church planting. So you're just kind of like, I just would rather be in an environment where I could just enjoy and get lost in it. Yeah.
That's cool. Legoland with family or Disneyland?
I've never been to Disneyland.
You've never been to Disneyland?
I've been to Disney World, but I've never been to land.
Oh.
But we just did Legoland. So Legoland is cool, but the boys are going to be too old for it pretty soon.
Yeah, so you needed to do I love Legoland.
Yeah.
But you have to do that right age. Like
Ezekiel really loved it because... I mean, I didn't know this. You go to Legoland and they've got these like rooms. Like, I didn't realize that Legoland would just be Lego kids building Legos. Like they do a ride and then they just go build Legos. And I was like, whoa.
Wow.
So Asher was like, can we go do rides? And Ezekiel was like, can we just build?
Wow, that's great. That's awesome.
Pretty funny. But it was good. So we had Palm Sunday yesterday, which so when's the last time the church did a Palm Sunday? Like a real centered on...
I don't know. I don't know.
With palms being brought in and the
Palms
whole nine.
being brought in quite a while.
Quite a
ago,
while.
Yeah.
Like pre-COVID for sure.
I think so. We've probably done a Palm Sunday message.
Yeah.
Like something about the triumphal entry.
Yeah. But the
not with palms and
significant, the
children.
whole thing, and
Yeah,
the
that
teaching.
was beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Very powerful.
Yeah, I think that the people who weren't here
Yeah.
would they kind of missed out a little bit in a beautiful way. People, because we had palms on at every station for communion. So when you went and took communion, you grabbed a palm, and then you went to and you didn't just go and lay it on the stage. Like people knelt and
it was a moment. It was like a surrender. It was a moment of recognizing Jesus's kingship through the palms. Very powerful. Lots of different people who don't always come to the altar coming. And
it was great.
if you did miss it, go to our Instagram and look at some photos because they're pretty powerful.
Yeah, the kids came in with big palms, and then the adults all had kind of their own.
Yeah.
And then we got to pray a blessing over the kids,
Yes.
which was really cool.
Yeah, I
Palm
love this.
Sunday.
This is a powerful week. Good Friday, we're really looking forward to lots of work this week, getting that
Yeah,
set up and
a whole
7 o'clock.
an hour of intentional remembrance, which will be really good. Different than Ash Wednesday.
Yes.
It'll be really profound.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Come on out, invite someone, or especially on Easter, invite some friends. And
Yeah.
I love what you shared yesterday during announcements about your neighborhood and Easter.
Oh yeah,
that was really inspiring.
Yeah, we're hosting a party. Yeah, so like it's an after Easter hangout, and we're inviting all of our neighbors to church, and then a party afterwards at our house. And it's like, if the statistics are true, that 9 out of 10 people that you invite will actually like genuinely be interested in coming. And that's not like, oh, this is in rural blah. It's like, no, this is just what we now know statistically in the world is that people have an inclination to come to church on Easter Sunday, and to not invite them is kind of like just a missed opportunity. Why would you not invite your friends to Easter?
Yeah,
it's
gonna be a great service.
It'll be really fun. Yeah,
Great.
Yeah,
and we'll have like maybe some cafe lobby.
Yeah.
Vineyard lobby dynamics done, and that was fun yesterday. We entered through the regular doors that we haven't used in a long time.
I know people were walking by the doors, going to the other speakeasy set of doors, which actually made me think. We even had new people doing that, so it made me curious if like word is getting out. They're like, so when you go to like a friend invites them, like, okay, so when you go, it's gonna be a little bit weird. There's gonna be this strange door. Walk past the regular, so people are just walking past.
Hello, over here.
Oh, I had to communicate to at least 20 people. Like, hey, these are the doors, by the way. Even though we had signs and everything and
signs
greeters.
and flags and greeters. But yeah, it's so nice. Those big windows, and so beautiful. Yeah, so much room and space. It's very exciting.
I think people are a little curious about, like, just like, are we almost done? And it's like, yes, like this was the stuff we had been sharing for the last 6 months. Like, everybody goes through that creative bell curve of like excitement and then anticipation and then like despair and then frustration and then like, can we get this thing done to wow? Like, we're almost to the wow. Yeah. But a lot of people are just like, is this thing going to be done? It's like, well, if you've ever done a renovation in your house or anything, like you always wish it would be quicker. Yeah. But yeah, cafe is almost done for a Sunday. It's for not Sunday, ready for...
Not to reopen.
No. We won't be reopening the cafe until September. Like that, it's going to take intentionality on getting it ready, making sure that health comes back in and gives us their certificates, ordering staff. I mean, you're launching a business again, and that takes time. Some people might be like, why is that? Again, if you've never opened a restaurant, it's hard to close a restaurant, do everything you need to do, and then reopen appropriately. That takes time,
But we'll be Sunday ready this Sunday, and some great coffee, just a few things. Yeah. It's not like going to be an operational coffee house, but it'll be a Vineyard
It'll be basically
bar.
like Vineyard Cafe.
Yeah, like a Vineyard coffee bar or Vineyard Cafe.
It's going to be a normal church coffee experience until we reopen the cafe, which is fine. That's exactly... We have so many new people coming anyways. Like the amount of... We're reaching so many new people without the coffee shop even being open, which is like a big reason why the coffee shop existed. It was a third space for people to feel a little bit more safe in a church environment. Fascinatingly, somehow Google has now replaced the need for a third space. Like we're not lacking in new guests. Like actually, I just saw we were just talking about this morning. Since September, we've had 150 new guest connection cards filled out. Huge. People saying, "I want you to have my information." Yeah. And then I want you to follow up with me. I want to be a part of this church. 150 new guest connection cards since September.
And so how many guests does that represent? Many
more.
My
gosh. I mean, if you look at a lot of books out there talk about you can only really get 20% of your guests to even fill out a connection card, which we might be more than that.
A lot of people I talk to who do the connection cards are almost doing it as a decision.
Yeah, they're not a brand new guest.
No, they're
usually.
Like, I guess I'll give you my info. It's like we've decided to fill out this card because we've been coming for 3 weeks and this is our home.
Yes.
So I talked to a couple like that yesterday. Very excited to kind of make it formal through the connection card.
Well, because I mean, I don't think anybody really just wants to get text messages and emails from a church if they're not interested in the church, you know? Yeah. So, no, there's a lot of things like, I mean, and let's be real, this Sunday was heavy. You know, we had to make some decisions as a church and as a staff and as a board that, you know, it doesn't make, you know, you feel good. I mean, this is, I told our powwow when all of our all volunteer kind of like hoorah moment in the morning. I said, this is the reality of the kingdom of God. There are things we delight in and things we mourn. We rejoice and we mourn at the same time. We read the Psalms, and one psalm is a psalm of declaration and another is a psalm of despair. That's it. Yeah. You simultaneously hold the already and the not yet all at the same time. And so it's very fascinating to be a part of a church transition and change and have all of these amazing, amazing, amazing things happening. And yet simultaneously, we're not always rejoicing. No. For a lot of different reasons. And it's not, this week was particularly heavy, but we've had hard weeks prior just for different, you know, deaths or illness, people moving, different, you know, there's always, I mean, but again, the church is a family system in a lot of ways. And there's always, I mean, I don't know any family that just has great months. Yeah. Usually most families have a great week.
Yeah, or a great day.
A great day. Oh, I wish we had great days, you know, so yeah. No, it's good. It's a good week. This is Holy Week. We are reminded, you know, we're not doing, you know, Maundy Thursday or anything like that. You know, maybe one day we will, but it's going to be a really, really good week going into Easter. And we'll see a lot of things resolve beautifully in our community too, which is really, really good.
Yeah. So if you come this weekend, come early. If you're early, you're on time.
Oh, yeah.
If you're on time, you're late, especially on days like
Easter when there's a ton of new people. Tons of new people are going to be here on Easter Sunday. They need to be loved. They need to be welcomed. Yep. They need to be invited into the culture. That is Vineyard Church. Yes. Like, people are going to be, I mean, we're doing one song and then we're doing two at the end. So it's not going to be a big, long service. It's going to be quick and efficient. And we're going to help people meet and greet and love and connect and feel excited about what God's doing, and we want them to come back the next week, you know? So this is a great opportunity. You know, like a lot of people in our church are like, how come we're not doing outreach and missions and outreach and, you know, and it's like, we've been so emphasizing on encounter. Yep. All right, everybody who says that we got rid of everything. So you're either going to invite your neighbor to church and believe that God wants to, like, the Christian theology of worship and gathering as the ecclesia, the gathering of God's people, is an assumption that God is in the business of saving people when we get together. So if you're really excited about what we can do outreach-wise for our community, then you need to be the number one person inviting your friends.
Invite friends.
Literally.
We have someone who's only been here like 3 or 4 months. She came through a Kingdom Session prayer appointment. Yeah. And I think every week she's brought someone different. She's brought, and I think 2 of those people want to be baptized.
Supernaturally infused with a divine gift of evangelism. She cares about her friends and she wants them to meet Jesus.
Yeah, she knows there's an urgency.
Yes,
and so she's also courageous. Like, she chooses to say, "Hey, come to my church with me." And she brings them.
And also, what we have on a Sunday morning is really compelling. Yeah. Why would 150 new people say, here's my personal information, please follow up with me? Yeah. It's because what we're doing on a Sunday is compelling. Yeah. I just found out this new restaurant by my house. It was like on Eater's top 50 new restaurants in LA to go to. And it's literally 3 blocks from my house. down Manchester towards the 405, and it's like in a sketchy, weird. It's like there's a dental office, there's a tortilleria, there's this place, and then there's like I'm pretty sure it's just a front for some illegal activity,
Breaking Bad thing.
Yeah, like 100%. Like literally, I think that this is because it's by LAX and there's never anybody there, and I'm like, how is this? But it's a Mongolian and Baja Mexican taco shop. Which makes literally no sense.
That's always stressful to have like someone that has like.
How are you doing both of those? We walk in, and the family owns it, operates it. They're having dinner. And we order, and they've got this amazing Mongolian thing being cooked on, but it's not a traditional Mongolian like cooktop. It was like made of charcoal, and it was shaped.
Wow.
And then they were also making like Baja, like shrimp tacos and fish tacos, and like some of the they make homemade garlic ketchup. For like their fries it was so.
Wow, let's go.
Anyways, it's amazing. I went. It was so impressive. The exterior was not that great yet, but I now want to tell everybody. Hey,
I'm compelled.
This place is sweet. It's got like 400 5-star reviews on Yelp right now. Like this place is popping. And in a weird way, it's like that's like when you have something that's worth telling people about, they're going to show up. Like it's going to be so cool. Anyway, so Easter's going to be great. And I think that a good majority of our people are very excited about what God is doing. And the amount of transformation a building is going through. I was walking someone through yesterday, and they just went. They said every week there's something exciting.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was like, it's really good. So, good week.
Super exciting. And then after that is April 27th through May is an exciting time too. New series.
Yeah.
Short series coming up.
Yeah. What does the Bible say about? ... Yep. So we'll talk about the three. Kind of they're stools of faith, or there's three legs of faith, but basically the things that knock you off your faith. So sex, money, power. So we'll talk about what does the Bible say about those things, and then we're probably going to also talk about heaven and hell.
Yes.
So very important stuff to talk about. It's also just issues in our culture today. The antidote to sex is and to the desire to be promiscuous is is a sense of purity. It's a longing for what's holy and beautiful. It's not radical celibacy. That's just no. It's not no. It's not that. The antidote to the longing is actual intimacy, and intimacy either with your spouse or with Jesus. The antidote to power is humility. The antidote to greed is generosity, right? So we really need to talk about those things, because honestly, is that not what LA is all about?
Yeah, those are huge. Yep.
Yeah.
Incredible. And then we have baptisms too.
Yes.
The beauty of baptisms, and what a great time to be talking about those with Easter coming and visitors, new people, guests.
It's going to be really fun.
Family Sundays coming in the midst of that too.
Child dedications, Family Sunday. Yep. So it's like this next month, there's going to be so much life.
And facility kind of coming into land.
Yeah. Which we were telling everybody, like, we just got to get to June. It's going to be okay.
Yes.
We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay, which we are doing just fine. We are going to be just fine. And if you were here yesterday again, and you saw first service and you saw it as packed as it was, I mean, like, if the Easter was not coming up, we would still have to add chairs. We're going to add chairs anyways because of Easter, but it's like first service would have been a very clear indication that we need to increase our capacity again. Like, that's amazing.
Yes.
And like, there are people that they don't think that growth is the antidote. And it's like, it actually is. Healthy things grow. Jesus prunes so that, right? So it's like, this is good. This is good for our church. It's good for the people who need a lot of hope. There's a lot of people in our church right now that are walking in with a lot of despair. And when they walk into a room that is alive and communities happening in the middle of the week, that there's amazing life transformation happening. I mean, we just had a prayer meeting on Thursday night. When was the Living Waters?
Oh, Wednesday night.
Yeah, it was Wednesday night.
Yep.
Amazing leaders from all over the city and the nation had a 2.5 hour prayer meeting, pleading with Jesus to bring healing to the brokenness of Los Angeles.
It was very, very powerful.
Yeah. So good stuff, man. It's good stuff happening. So yeah. And then you're preaching right after Easter. Mm-hmm. Are you preaching on the money, sex? Yeah, the money, sex, power.
What does the Bible say about sex?
Oh, great. That'd be fun.
Be fun.
It'll be good. I think the majority of the people in our church need to hear a wise voice when it comes to that stuff. There's just so much confusion out there. And there's so much lack of wisdom in the world right now on sexual wholeness and healing and freedom. It's like people in our church need to hear a biblical perspective that brings flourishing. Because you're not going to preach like 1990s purity culture. No. Like you're going to preach like wholeness, beauty, like the gift of intimacy. And that can look 1,000 different ways.
And most of us never had our knowledge or foundation of sexuality and that gift informed by Jesus or the word.
Correct.
We've had it informed by everything else. So it's very important for us to hear God's design and the beauty of what.
And it's not a reaction either. Like the Christian reaction to sexuality is always way too extreme. And it's like, we're going to be proactive in speaking to things that everybody in our church is dealing with. But we want to be the proactive voice. There's not something on the ballot right now that we're trying to help our people vote proper. It's like, guys, the Bible talks a lot about intimacy, and we want to talk about that too. And also, you're basically engaging with this reality almost every day. Like just down the 405, every time I drive my boys to school, there's that new sex kills or die for sex. And my boys are like, so what does that mean, Dad? And we have to have almost every day a new conversation about that.
Yeah. Wow.
It's just, this is it. So have a healthy, beautiful conversation about it. So you get to talk about that. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then David Parker preaches the next week.
Yes, on power.
Or maybe the week after.
May 4th. The next week.
May the 4th be with you. So when was that? Yeah. Something like that.
The week after me.
That's like Star Wars Day, isn't it?
Ooh. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
For all the Star Wars nerds out there. May the 4th be with you. Yeah. I don't know if I know too many like Star Wars people. Maybe Josh Call's a Star Wars guy.
Maybe. We have some in our Wednesday night group.
They're Star Wars people.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Or you have like the Trekkies, which is like a different group. Yeah.
Yeah. We did some kind of icebreaker once of like what character you would be in a fantasy world, and Star Wars was in that mix. Different people from Star Wars.
Nice.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So renovation, we should probably do we'll do a video or some photos, a walkthrough sometime soon with Kids Space and those places, because it's so secure in an important way, but it's also very beautiful, and it would be great for people to see.
Yeah, I think in like 2 or 3 weeks, Kaylee's going to want to do a video to that, because the Kids Space is almost done. We just need to finish the turf outside. The kids check-in has it's not going to be a mobile cart anymore. It's going to be built into the building. And then playground. That's literally it. And the playground is just coming from the shipping facility. So that's on its way. It's just a matter of when it gets built. And then the interior of the building, you have the gallery finishing up. The courtyard's going to get painted. The exterior of the building is going to get painted.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yep.
Roof's done. HVAC is done. Electric. I mean, it's all done. Yeah. So we're there. So when we land, for sure, then Kaylee can get the video. People see before and afters. They'll also just see that the majority of what we did was just updating. Yeah. Like, again, we said, repairs. I remember over there, we even, as a staff, we were sitting there and we said, we're not doing a blood transfusion and a replacement of the skeletal structure. It's like, we literally just took stuff that needed to be opened. We opened it, we updated, we painted, we got new floors. Honestly, the floors probably took the longest. Yeah. They caused the most chaos because you would literally have to remove everything from a room for 2 weeks. Yeah. But overall, it's just we brightened them. That was the majority of the comments we got yesterday, actually. It was like, wow, it's so bright.
Yes, the windows.
Yeah.
The whole front of the lobby, the cafe is all beautiful windows.
Yeah.
You can see out. And the gallery has windows.
Yes.
For those of you who know.
Well, we also found out it
always
windows at some point.
Yes, and they were covered because that became a closet.
And we don't know if that was a Bruno's thing or if that was a pre-Bruno's thing or if that was a West Side. We don't know. We don't know when that decision got made to cover the windows, but... because they were framed in already. It was just a matter of let's let's just put new glass in them. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
Increase the beauty.
and going back to all the new people coming in our big services, I love our kingdom builders, all of our volunteers. We have a really rich culture of people that are, it's fascinating. We had a lot of new people sign up for like greeting team. And they're a little intimidated at first, like, what does this hold? What am I going to have to do? And it's like, you come 30 minutes early
and you say hi to
you're
people.
done by 10 minutes after the service starts.
Yeah. You don't miss anything. You just love on people.
Yeah, you just show up a little bit early.
Yep.
And you wear a lanyard.
Yep.
And you're intentional and you feel connected and you make a difference. And so
when you're launching a security team.
We are.
Yeah, you're not calling it a security team, but
no, it's Vineyard Church safety.
Advisors?
No, ambassadors.
Yeah. That's right. Which will be great.
VSAs.
Yeah, VSAs. So that'd be fun.
Yes.
I mean, I think in a city like Los Angeles, parents specifically appreciate when things appear to be healthy, secure, safe, right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then with all the kookies out there in the world, being in a large room, you just want to know that if something goes bad, we're going to be okay.
Yeah. Highly trained, very appropriate people, but the foundation is still hospitality.
Yes.
So these people are loving people, are caring for people, and also protecting and guarding our church.
There's an amazing church down in San Diego that has the best security team I've ever seen in my entire life. And 2 of the facilitators of that program are Navy SEALs.
Wow.
Current active Navy SEALs. And they are so kind. They are, you know what I mean? They're just, you can tell that they're beefy and they know what they're doing, but they're also amazing. And it's like, yes, that's awesome. And obviously they have SEALs because that's literally where they're hubbed down in San Diego, but it's super cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're not volunteering on a Sunday,
it's great community.
It's a great way to connect. I hear people say, well, I don't feel like I'm connecting, and it's because you're not connecting.
Yeah.
Like you're literally not connecting. So
the whole purpose of a Sunday morning is not to, our primary drive of a Sunday morning isn't connection, unfortunately. You can't with 300, some odd people. You need your connection point to happen in individual situations, and which is why when you greet or when you're on, when you're a kingdom builder and you're in kids or worship or sound or greeting, you just talk to the other people.
Yeah.
Just really good.
And we have a rich huddle beforehand. It makes Sunday very, it's a different experience, and it goes a lot deeper, and it's very fulfilling.
We have a really cool, I don't think I told you this. So after second service yesterday, a lady came up to me and she's like, hey, I was at the most recent encounter night. And she's like, and somebody had a word of knowledge about like a right hip or something, whatever. So then she was like, so I came up because I've had a chronic issue with my hip and got in an accident, different things. And I won't share too much of this person's story, but she was like, I got prayed for. I realized that there were some things I also needed to pray for on behalf of another person. And she's like, it's been 3 weeks and I didn't know when to come up and tell you. She's like, but I have been fully healed.
Wow.
From this ailment.
That's awesome.
So I went over to the people who had prayed for her, who are, I at least thought that they were the people that prayed for them, and they were just like blown away and encouraged.
Wow.
And you don't often hear about the what would you call like a praise report or whatever, the evidence of the kingdom immediately. Usually like we stand up on stage and we say God might be doing something, and then we hope that he does something, and then oftentimes we don't get the next day or the next month right away. We get it way later.
Yes.
So
yes, that's amazing.
So it's good.
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago, we prayed for someone's shoulder, and she texted about 2 hours later and said, absolutely pain-free.
Wow.
And it was causing a lot of problems. So
wow, that's cool.
And we don't always hear those testimonies or praise reports like you said, but when you do, it's super encouraging. A lot of times people don't talk about it, but
well, it's also very private.
Yeah.
When you're praying for something. I mean, like I was telling, who was I telling? I was talking with Josh or somebody here on the team, but we're talking about John Wimber and all the videos and stuff that are out there on him. And I was sharing with him, I said, the majority of John's stuff that's out there right now is actually conferences. It's not regular
Sundays.
church Sundays.
No.
So it's like, he does all the power evangelism series, and then he has 18 people come up on stage from prophetic words or words of knowledge, and then they all stand there and openly receiving healing, and then they're able to articulate it. It's like, well, all of those people, or at least a good majority of them, were leaders of churches, or they were at the conference because they are ready for that. There's this sense of that is not a normal Sunday at Anaheim in the 90s. Anaheim had regular church services, and then they had ministry time after, and then they had Sunday nights. Yes. So in a weird way, although we want to see that happen, that version of Anaheim culture is a conference culture. And on a Sunday morning, if you're a church that's word and spirit and you want to see signs and wonders happen, it's going to look more like someone hesitantly walks up to the corner in the dark. They don't want to get on stage. They don't want to sit down and have John Wimmer. So we're going to pray for this lady, and you see that she's shaking. Well, it's because she's you don't want that. That's weird. Like, you don't only do that on a conference. But they'll come in the dark. They'll get anointed with oil only if no one sees it. They will doubt whether God actually did it. And then maybe 3 or 4 weeks later or a year later, we'll find the evidence of it. And it's like, that's normal. That's way more, just kind of happens, So it's good, though. It's good to hear these stories. Yes. And if our definition of a miracle is what it should be, a proper definition of a miracle, this should not be happening every single minute of the day. Right. That would be that the kingdom is now, not yet. Like, and it is kind of,
but it's not.
Yeah. I was listening to this worship song. It was such a bad song. I was angry about it because it taught such bad theology. It was a song. It's so popular right now, and I was like, the lyrics were like, miracle after miracle, get ready, here comes another one and another one and another one. And I was just like, wow, we're just putting in like our quarters into the gumball machine of Jesus, and like he's just miracle. I'm gonna get my miracle today. And it's like, there's either a disconnect in their theology of what a miracle is, or their definition of a miracle is just a positive experience. Which then it's like, that's really sad, because that's not what a miracle is. Now like if you go talk to a non-Christian who's really curious about Christianity but not there yet, now you're demystifying the power of the kingdom of God, and you're turning it into positive thinking. And it's like, so that's just really sad. I was just like, if this is what's being sung in churches right now, that breaks my heart, because there's a lot of people that are just, now they're going to be deceived into thinking like, you're going to get it. Here it comes. Boom.
Yeah. There's a difference between expectancy, which is good, and entitlement, which this almost borders on. Like expectancy, we need to have faith. We need to believe God for more. I also do it with humility and no sense of entitlement.
I also was just a little grieved that the song didn't have much to do with a reliance on God. It was like the singers are just saying, here comes your miracle. And it's like, or like, Lord, more, because if you don't, we die. Lord, this is Mary and Martha at the feet of Jesus because Lazarus died. Lord, I don't know. This is why we don't sing a lot of those types of songs here at the Vineyard. Like Jacob and I talk about this a lot. I want songs to be upward. Upward. Like, we are going to adore our Lord and King. And if he so chooses to bestow us with the manifest presence of his healing power to bring a kingdom reality that he doesn't want this to be this way anymore, then what a gift. And we'll beg for it and plead for it. But to be so audacious to say it's just going to happen.
Worship's more about him than us.
It should be. I mean, maybe I'm weird though. So, I mean, maybe in some circles I'm wrong, but.
No, it's that old Wimberism of it's not what we get out of it. It's what God gets out of us.
Yeah.
Worship.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also want my worship to be something that I want the stuff I sing right now to be the same stuff that I can sing when I'm at a funeral.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
I don't know. A wedding, a funeral. Those are really good indicators on, am I singing something truthful?
Yeah. I remember Todd Hunter, I think, who's an Anglican bishop. And
Todd did Carol's wedding or funeral. Yes. Oh, it was so rich.
Carol Wimber.
Yes, taught us so.
I think it was him who one time I was listening to him kind of go off on how when Western consumeristic culture and marketing meets Christian music, you end up with what sells more than what's authentic or appropriate. And that's a different podcast. But
well, we have a friend who talks about Christian worship culture, and he says there's so much hope, or what does he say? He says we're selling hope and hype. And he's like, but what we all need is help.
Oh yeah. I know
yeah.
That's rich.
And he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Like hope and hype all the time? What if someone is just like, I need help?
Yeah.
What if you thought everybody in your church walked in and went, I need help? Yeah. You would sing a lot differently. Yeah. You know, you'd preach. I preach with the assumption every day that half of the room is like, what am I doing here? Yeah. You have to. But again, obviously that's a conviction, right? But I just find that to be way more refreshing than something that feels disingenuous and wouldn't relate to my neighbor, you know? So I've been too influenced by like Jay Pathak in that. It's like, if my life does not correlate at all with my next door neighbor, then what am I doing right now?
Well, that's also what creates an invitational culture and Sundays like this Sunday that neighbors will find compelling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the hope. So it's a good week. We're excited, right?
Very exciting.
Holy Week, Easter, Good Friday, building, a lot of good stuff. Child dedications, baptisms. Eventually stayed at church. It's going to be really good. Yep. So, all right. We actually, record time, Joel Moses. We didn't get into anything like personal and stuff, but that's okay.
It's okay.
Sometimes you just
we've
get it done.
Got a lot going on in the facility and lots happening this week.
So we might end up having a church workday eventually if we need some help with some painting, or who knows? Maybe not this week, but
not this week.
But Megan will initiate something, which will be cool. So,
all right,
alrighty, friends. Thanks for listening or watching. Hopefully, the new audio is up. We've heard from people on Spotify; they needed it to be pushed audio-wise. So Jacob did a great job at that.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you, Jacob, and the team. We'll see you guys this Sunday or Friday.
Yeah, Friday night, 7 o'clock.
See ya.